Hello, everyone. This is the Alchemical Crafter. How's everyone doing today? Um, past week, I pretty much gutted my crafting area and did some complete reorganizing because it was getting utter chaos. I couldn't find anything anywhere, and everything where I thought I knew it wasn't there. It was somewhere else, and it just started getting so bad that I just gave up. And I said, okay, I need to start fresh. So I get it everything. And in the process, I found in the back of areas, I found a bunch of my old um, supplies that I started collecting in the very beginning of my craft, which is a bunch of junk mail and stuff like that. And for instance, these are the backs of check registers, because we don't really use checks anymore. Everything's online. So I shredded all the check registers but I kept the backings. And there wasn't that many of them, but it was enough for me to do kind of a little collage with them. I just wanted to get them all prepped to do some sort of like collages or tags or little focal points. Anything just to make them useful and just add them to my stash and they'll be ready to go. I'm gonna do stencils and sprays and oxides on the front. I'm gonna do some paint on the back side to make them ready to write notes and stuff if I want to use them as tags. But I did the beginning of this part during the week, and my husband usually crafts with me during the week, so I'm going to play some music on that part. And towards the end, I did it on the weekend, and where I was solo, and so you're going to see me talking my way through it, the remainder of it. So I hope you enjoy this. Hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. So I thought I'd jump back in here and explain what I'm doing with these cards. If you look at them, this is just for writing space in case I wanted to use these as such. And the way they look right now, I think it's actually perfectly fine. And if I could go and tell that to my past self, I would. But my past self wanted a specific look on these cards, on this writing space of the cards that I had done on a different card recently, which had different shades of the same color, just kind of not really mixed, but doing lines on the page, but it was still bright enough that you could still write on it. I did not achieve that. I tried, but I did not. But I really just wanted to hop in and explain why you're seeing me put so many layers of paint on these cards. Uh, but anyway, I just thought I'd let you know that, and I'll let you get back to the music.
Okay, so these are completely dry now. But this is supposed to be like, if I turn these could be anything. They could be just for collage, or they could be a card. And if I want to make them ready, card ready, so even though I like the design on these, it'll be probably a little hard to read. So I'm going to throw a little white back onto this, if I can find my right tool. There it is. And I'm just going to do white paint because it's the easiest. Used a lot of white paint on the back of these cards today. Well, it was yesterday for me, but it's the same moment for you guys. I'm trying to not get as messy as I did last night. Almost always. But as you saw many times in this project alone, I usually get too much paint and I have to clear it off with other things. That's how I get so many pages of work in progress, because they're started by just creating from clearing tables from other projects. And I did one video of me starting pages that way, with just putting the stuff on the paint on the table. That was fun. But I get enough of this stuff done just from cleaning up other projects that I don't really need to create it myself intentionally. Okay, well look, there's a little paint on this still. Okay. So I'm going to let these dry and I'll be right back. Okay. So I'm trying to decide. I want to edge these now. I'm trying to decide between these. And I'm thinking between these two, I can start eliminating. I think this one matches more, yes, than this. So I'm going to put the wild honey away. And these are very bright and cheery, so I think I'd rather have the vintage than even though I love my ground espresso better, I think I'm going to keep the bright and cheery. Or do I want to bring in some more of that turquoise color? Or do I want to do a little bit of all of them? You know what? I actually think I want to do this. I'm going to be honest with you. I want to do it because it's my newest one. I've gotten, this is my most recent purchase of my distressed oxides, so I want to play with it. Can't fault a person for that, right? And I'm running out of these things. Boy, this is a mess. I need to get rid of the stuff I don't use in here. Make things easier to find. Okay, but first, before I do this, I noticed on some of these, like this one, it's got a little nip. I'm gonna get rid of that. Any others have that? These do. So I'm doing 2 different projects today, and I'm doing them simultaneously. While one project dries its step, I come back and do the other one, and it's starting to get confusing to me what I've talked to you about on which one. Which half the time doesn't matter, because half the time I do a voiceover and y'all never hear me talk, even though I'm talking all the time. But I recently cleaned up my workspace here because it was getting way out of hand. And I always like to put a piece of paper down when I do this. And I found all of these old paper products from junk mail. These were old checkers registers where I shredded the checks. But the back page, I was like, yeah, that'll work. And I saved all this stuff back when I just started, and I didn't have any paper products. So I was trying to grab paper from any place, source I could find it. And so that's how I got these. They're now just sitting there taking up so much space. So I was like, you know what? Just going to use them. I'm going to start creating some, because look at this box I have here. Can you see this? Oops. This is a box I have of just my scrap paper. I have some other boxes that have nice paper, but that's just scrap paper where I've used stuff in. It's getting crazy. So even though I don't need any, I'm creating it. I'm creating more fodder for that box. At least with these. Other junk stuff I'm repurposing, I'm actually going to make a journal out of. And that's going to be a fun project because that's my favorite thing. Well, not my favorite thing. We all know my favorite thing is gel printing, but I love making journals. Not very good at it, but I do love the process. And we're going to step back and look at this one. See if I chose right. I may end up going back to vintage photo. Let's just put this away from that. I think that may be a bit too much. I think it's taken away from what's on here. So we'll keep this one this way. Plus, it doesn't really go with the back. I think I'm going to go back to the vintage photo. But we are going to make this one just... And there's that one. You know what? Since we're experimenting, we're going to do one in the peacock as well. And then I'm going to do one in the vintage photo. I'm going to call it now. I'm going to end up going with the vintage photo, but we'll try the peacock. Is that peacock? I think that's peacock. But we're done with this one. I'm not going to do any more of that. I do not think. Peacock time. Yep. Could also be that I'm just going in too much with this. I don't normally do it this way, but again, it's overpowering. I wonder if we'll even notice it on this side. So, whoops. And one more. Sorry that my videos have been kind of sporadic lately. Things are going on in real life that take priority. And so I get to you guys when I can, and I'm really trying hard. But life happens, right? Let's look. Trying to see what you guys see. I mean, they all just kind of give a mood, a vibe. Oh, what did I do? Somehow I got some on the table. Let's take care of that. So, I actually, now that I see all of them, I like all of them. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do the rest of these. This one actually doesn't look much different from these. But I think I'm gonna do the rest of these kind of equalized, and I will get back to you and show you all of them. Okay, so this is what they look like. These are the vintage photo. These are the carved pumpkin, and these are the peacock feathers. I like them all. But now it's time for me to pick one to do a little card on. And what I want to, this is stuff I've been collecting for my fall journal. I decided I was going to start doing it this way because it just was getting confusing trying to remember what I was doing. But I did make, on the back side here, these little mushrooms in a different video, and I really want to make a special home for this mushroom, so we're going to do it now. And he goes quite lovely with that. But since he is green, mostly green and brown, I think I'm going to put him on an orange background so he pops. And so I think I'm going to use 2 of these cards for reasons. I think I'm going to use this one. Or I don't have to. That's right, I could use the back. Nope, still going to do that. Okay. And which one of these does he look best on? It's kind of cute with the bubbles behind him. I think the bubbles make most sense to him, so that one. Okay. Now all I'm gonna do is make a little thing to put on a page once my journal's made. So first we need this. We're gonna cut. This is not the pages going on, this is the background. Wow, this needs to be clean. What did I do with this? I want to make sure it's big enough. So I'm not making this a square because he's longer than he is tall. I'll make sure I have enough in the frame. You know what? I'm just gonna do that because maybe I want to do something else with them as well. It's already going in my thing. And then definitely want this corner, so we're going to work from that corner. I think I'm going to take, actually first let's do this way. Oh, look, there's bubbles on that side too. That's cool. Actually, I'll make... Nope, I'll keep it up there. I need to cut that much. Yeah. Trying to decide if I want to put something behind him, and I think I do. But, you know how we did the edges? Well, I cut the edges off, so I need to do that again. It's my go-to stash of just stuff. Looking for something simple. That might work, but I'd have to cut out that white because that white is annoying. Actually, if I just frame the mushroom, we'll keep that out as an idea. Ooh, something more natural. But I think the mushroom still blends too much. It is cute. The menu. It's got a mushroom on it, but that would cover up too much. Clush. Different kind of leaf. Actually, kind of need it the other way because his stem is dark. Trying to make it not look like a rectangle and just torn paper. Oh. This may not work at all, but sometimes it works great. I could flip the mushroom, but the design on the other side is lovely, and I want to keep it. Or we could put the lovely lighter color. Can't really tell it's a leaf though. Do we need to? Okay, those might work. In fact, we put this in the back and these on top. Or the other way around. Just that white is so annoying. What else we got? Oh, this is cute. Look at that. I definitely would have to cut the white up. Little butterflies are peeking out the top. That little, I know I'm doing it sideways, but let's try and cut that one out. Let's do that. This was a Goodwill find. Best thing I ever found. Okay. I'm probably going to fast forward or cut this part out because this is never fun to watch, and I'm even taking my glasses off because I'm that blind. Okay. Nope, I threw it away. There was still a butterfly attached to the one. Yeah. I may or may not cut that butterfly out. As you can tell, I'm not perfect at cutting out, but I say good enough. I'm going to cut that little part out because I don't know why I didn't do that. And that's probably going to get hidden. Okay. I want more darkness on these corners. Same with this one. Yeah, with those, maybe I can make this go this way. And I can get both those butterflies. First things first, I'm going to glue this down because I'm tired of holding both of these pieces together. And I was thinking the outer frame was too big, but depending what I do with all this stuff, it may be fine. I feel like there needs to be a third over here. String's always a nice addition, right? Oh, and you are there. And you go here. You know what? Let's do it this way. And now we want this under the butterfly. That look too round to you guys? Now that I've just throwing things around. Maybe like that. And the question is, do we want the string behind the mushroom or behind the whole collage? Behind the mushroom, it may hide these butterflies, but it doesn't have to. I can make that work. Or hide it behind the whole collage. I think that. I like that. Okay. Normally I like to draw with my ink pen, but I think on this one, I like it just as it is, so. Yeah. Yeah. And if I decide later that I want to draw on my mushroom, I will. But not today. I don't know why. The string is the hardest part for me to get right. I shouldn't care so much, but I want the bulk of it down by the stem. But maybe that's my problem. Maybe it doesn't want to be that way. Maybe we should listen to the string. We almost got it, and I'm gonna go ahead and commit. I'm committing. This is me committing. Do. And it still technically can be a journaling card. Look, it's growing. And I'm not going to add that other butterfly. Mostly because I don't want to cut that little guy out. Where would I put him anyway? I guess I could put him right there. Fine. You know why? Because he's the third butterfly. I'll cut him out. Just because you guys asked for it, I'll do it. This here is the reason I stopped working on miniatures. Because my eyes were getting too bad for this. Those things are tiny. When doing all the detail work, again, I have to cut off his antennae because I'm not cutting around that. I don't even know if I could. Guess I could draw him in, but not today. Got too many things I need to do. Husband's not here today, so I get to enjoy the house to myself and not have to worry about interruptions. Interruptions are fine, but when I get interrupted, I can't talk to you. I have to do the voiceover later because I don't know rules about other people's voices coming in on your channel. I also don't know that you guys would care to hear him talk about his hobby. I care, but his hobby is still miniatures. I'm not inking this because that's crazy talk. Ta-da! Okay, so I still have all of these. I have these two little pieces that I cut off from this, from the two cards that I did. So let's see what we did today. And these. And this guy. And this guy. I can put a little saying there, but all my sayings that I have are huge, so they would engulf the thing, but I can probably find some later. That just looks like little fungus growing out behind the mushroom, so very woodsy vibe. I may still trim more of the edge, but not for now. I think this is nice. So, hope you guys enjoyed watching this and find a way to, I mean, these were the backings of what, checkbooks, but I mean, it could be anything you have, any of your junk mail, and just throw stuff on them and make nice little ephemera out of them, or save them up for collages to use later. And quite enjoyed it. And I'm doing this because I'm trying to use up all my old modeling paste and gesso, whatever. Tell me which way that's said. And all that stuff. So I hope you enjoyed it. More little mushrooms, more fodder for my fall journal. I think it's probably going to be my favorite journal. And this is the color scheme right here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a great day.